What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. It's been a while since I uploaded something, but I definitely wanted to upload something for the New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. I just wanted to give y'all an update of what's been going on and what I've been up to, so that's pretty much what this video is about. But it ain't gonna be me just rambling on. There's gonna be a little bit action-packed for you just to go along the journey of this 240Z, the Datsun 240Z behind me. And this car has been in the background of the channel for quite some time, and I haven't talked about it much because I didn't want to put my business out there that much for paying customers. I tend to let my channel be my hobby cars and not mix business with pleasure in that aspect. But, you know, this is such a cool car in the end. I'm glad it's at the final stages and it's about to leave the shop. I just wanted to give you guys a brief overview of this build and take you along with the journey of me first starting it and taking it on its first drive ever. So, give you an idea what's under the hood. And this downpipe's connected to a 3-inch CX Racing exhaust system. CX Racing T3, T4 turbo. To get that to fit correctly, I had to run like an adapter right there that spaces it out so I can fit it. And basically, Ford ignition system is what I use, so I can use the coil packs from a Ford Mustang. And a lot of these various parts that I sourced off of hybridz.org, like the bracket, the fuel rail, and the fuel rail is 11 millimeter O-ring size, and that allows for a wide variety of injectors to be chosen. And to keep things on the budget side of things, I just sourced out a set of Toyota Super Turbo injectors that are factory size, 440cc. With the amount of boost that I'm going to be putting in, it's more than be adequate. The engine's been rebuilt, and obviously, and it's been refreshed. It's still a lot of the factory internals, and upgraded some, some ARP fasteners here or there, and but it's just a refresh. So I want to have it nice and fun, peppy, and basically reliable for the customer. And a lot of things that I had to take on with this car I haven't done before. And one thing was like AND lines. I had to teach myself how to do AND lines. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of AND lines feeding all over the place, and there's a reason for that, because the gas tank in the back, it isn't baffled. This is a carbureted car originally, no baffling in the gas tank, so you get a lot of slosh, and you have to run a surge tank to do fuel injection. So basically, I have a surge tank that is installed right here. There's a surge tank, and basically I have a low pressure fuel pump feeding the surge tank. The surge tank fills up, and then I have a high pressure pump feeding from that surge tank to the fuel rail, back to the regulator, back down to the surge tank. And the surge tank itself has its own drain that goes to the gas tank in the back, so no air gets in that system whatsoever, and totally eliminates the problem of fuel starvation going around corners. So I had to do a lot of plumbing with that, and I had to go through the fender well right here, and just to make that work. So, but in the end, it works well, and it looks pretty good. And I stuck my fingers a whole bunch of times trying to get all those fittings on correctly, because the steel braid, the fray of the steel sleeves, the steel braided sleeves, man, they stick you real good. It's not a good feeling. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty basic setup, but it's unique. And the way I chose to route the the intercooler piping, it looks symmetrical inside the engine bay. And the suspension CX Racing coilovers. Brakes are upgraded with Toyota 4x4 calipers, drilled and slotted rotors, and replaced bushings throughout with polyurethane. And just went through the whole car, got it to what it is, because the customer wanted it to be like a retro mod. He wanted to keep the engine family within the same family, but he wanted the electronics and everything to be up to date, so we had to go this route. I did have to build the whole engine harness and everything, and once I'm done with working out all the little kinks with it, I'll loom up the harness and get it all nice and tucked and looking slim and like behind the fuel rail, just kind of make it all prettied up. I have to do a lot of wire management back where I have everything connected. In here, as you can see, I got wires everywhere, but don't be confused, because a lot of these wires on the ground are like comm cables and shit like that for the Mega Squirt. But yeah, I gotta clean that up. And the headlights aren't working, the alternator isn't working right now. I gotta figure those things out. Just little things along the way. But I did film me starting this thing and driving it, so go ahead and enjoy those videos, and then we'll close the video out. The way the car has to start, you have to power it on. That's the fuel pump in the back when it pressurizes. And then now, make sure it's in neutral, and I'm gonna crank it. There you go. This don't seem to be working right still. I hope it's not that rich. There it is, it woke up. Hell yeah, it's working, baby. All right. So the sensor's working great. We're running decent for warm up, because it's gonna run a little bit rich on warm up. Eric did a good job at this base map. That fuel pump is clicking back there. I don't like that. I might have to replace that low pressure fuel pump. It might go out on me, but it's running good, man. Listen to that thing just idle. Uh-oh. I had to go and blimp the throttle. That's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Now, we started it up before. Like I said, the O2 sensor crapped out on us, but that's a good thing it's working now. So this thing warm up a little bit. And I even got it to where all the gauges are working properly. See your oil pressure right here. The temperature gauge will work. I haven't connected the sending unit for this yet, but it's wired up back there. I got it replaced with a new sensor. But we seem to be doing just fine. Now once we fine tune the fuel maps, it's gonna purr like a kitten, and I won't have to, like, you know, feather the throttle a little bit. But it doesn't have an idle air control system in it, so it will be one of those things where as it warms up, the idle will increase, but I will appropriately set the throttle body stopper at an appropriate spot so it idles within a different, you know, like right now it's idling okay. Could idle more. I could increase it like that. You have to find the sweet spot once we get the tune right. But that's the hum of the high pressure pump. 40 PSI. Man, I can't tell you, this is quite an achievement for me to get this thing built up from the ground up, and from wiring everything is mine, my effort, my labor. So hell yeah, I'm over the moon about it, and it's running pretty decent, and I'm really happy that the wideband is working. It's running a little lean now, and that's where Eric will do his magic. But to turn it off, check this out. I have to flip this switch first. I'm gonna mount this switch up here where this choke plate and all that is, but to turn it off, you have to turn this off. then you turn the key off. I don't really care for that, but that's the way I had to make it work, because for some reason cranking it on the power feed wire, key switch power, for some reason on this car, it just like intermits, it just doesn't, it cuts the signal. But anyway, cool. All right, we'll wait for Eric to get back here. We'll go through some tuning, and we'll see how this car ends up. All right, so we checked the timing with the light, and we got things dialed in on that. So Eric's here with his laptop. He's gonna go ahead and do some more tuning on it, and hopefully we get this thing to where we can drive it. Oh, you got it on?
All you gotta do is crank it.
Okay.
It's a flood clear. It's using a mathematical algorithm to decide, based on what it's getting from the O2 sensor, what ought to be applied to the table.
Correction.
Yep, it's applying the instantaneous correction permanently is really what it's doing.
Is it in auto tune right now?
It is.
Okay, that's what it is.
Now you see these red, that means that they've been reduced. You can also see this graphically here, and the cell weighting is how much information has been used to decide that,
okay,
or how many
that's
samples.
How much richer it went? Or?
No, this is how much richer or leaner it went.
Okay.
This is how many times it visited those cells to come up with that decision.
Oh, okay.
So based on where we're at right now, I think we're pretty accurate at idle. So why don't you hop in the car and start bringing the revs up a little bit,
Okay.
moving things around.
Let me put the fan in front of the car. Really? Hell yeah. All right, cool. All right, so it's been learning. Eric made some adjustments to the fuel table, and it's driving now, guys. Well, not all the way, but going through the gears now. There's a lot more bumps on this side of the road. You turn this thing around, I'll shift through the gears. It's getting a lot better as far as drivability goes. Just got to take the time and drive it more and get the tune to set correctly, and this thing will be ready. But you got to take care of all the little stuff first. So as you can see, I'm driving it and it's improving. That's a plus. Do one more pass and drive it. Put it in second gear. Oh, very cool.
pulling mostly fuel. At this point, in order to get it closer, we kind of need the alternator to be working properly, because our voltage, I don't know for sure our slope is right for opening time.
Right, because the voltage and the current for the injectors changes the pulse time.
Exactly. And it's real easy if we've got a constant voltage to make it always right. But since I don't know what the specs of these injectors are, I'm kind of winging it. If they're a little bit off from what I expect, it's going to act way different at 13 volts than it does at 10 and a half,
right,
or whatever it might be.
Right. Okay. Cool deal. I need to figure out that alternator tomorrow anyway. That's my plan.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Alright guys, I still got a lot to button up on this car. Just little things, but I'll get through it. And I think when I'm going to show this car again is going to be once it's all said and done and ready to be delivered to the owner. So I'm very happy, very proud of this car. I learned a lot along the way, and it helped grow me as a builder for the future. And once I get this skill under control a lot better than what it is, I think my builds will be coming up to the next level as well. So that's what I plan on. And I've been in pretty much a Nissan mood lately with this car. I think that the first episode in the new year is going to be the Z31 Turbo, because I do have some parts for it, and I also did pick me up a new set of wheels, and I think it's going to be sick. And I can't wait to I got to get the wheel bearings on the rear refreshed. I got those parts, new seals. We'll put those on, and we'll put the wheels in, get the ride height right, and take that thing on some rips, man. And speaking of that, I always source parts. Even though I have projects piled up, I'm always looking at parts that I can get for each car, just so that whenever I get to it, man, we can just make it happen nice. But I did pick up a Mega Squirt as well for the Z31, and we're going to be installing that in the near future as well, and bringing the electronics up to date, because I'll be able to control ignition timing at that point with the Mega Squirt in that car, and I can turn the boost up. I want to turn it up to like 15 psi, get everything squared away, make sure the fuel is more than enough to support it, and play with the ignition timing and really make some power. So very stoked I got my hands on that, and I got that from Eric. We worked out a deal on that, and I got that thing, so we're going to put it to use on that Z31 Turbo. And also those wheels, guys, I'm thinking they're gonna look sick, so y'all be the judge of it. We'll make that happen on the next episode in the new year. So like, comment, subscribe, and share. Y'all peace out.